Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Myers, and today I want to cover the subject of women on the street. Um, a lot of them are drug addicts, prostitutes, and we want to take a look at this. I worked with street people for over 10 years, and I want to share some of my experiences that I've had working with them. In 1985, I bought a building where I thought I could have a church service on the bottom and I could live on the top and go to seminary. And started the Kensington Outreach Center to work with street people and drug addicts that were out on the street, and those are the ones that came to the service. There was also women on the street, prostitutes, and we bought the building next door. It's on the right. You can only see a part of it there that we had for women. And that didn't work out too well. It didn't last very long because the women didn't want to stay. They had children that they needed to take care of, or their pimp would come around and want them back, or give them drugs or other things. So there was a lot more problems dealing with the women than there was with the men that we had. One day I was in the thrift shop that we had to make things reasonable for people to buy or give away, and there was a number of people there, and this one girl had a broken leg, and she was a prostitute, and she starts saying, "Oh, you're so handsome, you're so strong, you're so muscular." And I remember Proverbs about the flattery of the strange woman or prostitute. Proverbs 7, verse 4, "Say unto wisdom, Thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. With her much fair speech she causes him to yield. With the flattering of her lips she forced him. He goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks." And that's what it reminded me of that. Another time I was driving down the street and I stopped at a stoplight, and I had my windows down just a couple inches because it was hot. And this girl reaches her hand, I didn't think anyone could get their hand in, and opens the door and jumps in the car. And I told her I only have 2 blocks to go. And I went 2 blocks, parked in front of the outreach center, and got out and said, "This is the end of the road." And closed the door. She jumped out. She ran into the street and tried to get into another car. That's one of my experiences with the street people. And then there's another one. I saw a prostitute who was like 9 months pregnant, yet she was still out on the street prostituting herself. Another day I was coming home, parked, and walking down the sidewalk to the outreach center, and I saw this prostitute in a car with a guy, and she opened up the door and handed just a little bit, and handed a wallet to her pimp, who was hiding underneath the car. And no doubt he took all the money out of the wallet and gave it back to her, and told him this was free. He had free here, even though it cost him what he didn't know. It cost him everything in his wallet. And so you might be able to get some freebies. It may cost you everything. Then it's not only female prostitutes, there's male prostitutes as well. And one day I was driving by just a couple blocks away, and there was a guy chained to a telephone pole. Um, he had a big collar around his neck with chains going around the telephone pole, and he was stark naked, no clothes at all. Uh, so I was shocked to see that. But there's so many weird things that go on in Kensington. Out behind our outreach center and church, there was like a tent city or cardboard city where they made places to live right out of the open, out of trash. And one of the girls there, her name is Sandy, and I interviewed her, and we want to see what she has to say.
My name is Sandy. I've been on the streets for like about 3 years off and on, like different sleeping in cars or places just like this or abandoned houses. How I started like this was I used to have it all. I used to have a job, was going to school for medical assistance until I started doing drugs. And I was selling them and started school life and then everything went because that's very addictive. And I lost everything including my children, and I ended up here, sleeping in places like this.
You have to sell yourself to get money for drugs and
Yeah, I work at the Avenue. I'm a prostitute. I've been a prostitute for almost 4 years, and I've been smoking crack for 5.
do you like the situation you're in? Or?
You know, it hurts to be out here and go through all this. I mean, it's very painful, but it hurts me more to be with to be without the drug because then I think of everything. All the guilt comes, the kids, and I can't deal with that pain. I'd rather live like this. My background, my mom, she never did drugs. And she was always, and still is, a good mother. She worries about me, she cries. I was born in a family of three, two boys and me. And I was always a lonely child because I never had any sisters. Then I was brought up where my brothers always criticized me. They said I was too hairy, I had a big head and everything. So I would, and just, they just used to criticize me where I thought I wasn't pretty. So I had this thing about myself where I wouldn't wear short sleeves or long sleeves because I had hairy arms. So that messed me up a little. I thought I wasn't pretty. Then my mom didn't know how to really show her love. She didn't have the time. My father abandoned us. So we were always with babysitters. So I thought then that maybe I was adopted or she didn't love me. I was molested by my uncle. I always seem to be suffering by men. And out here, I've been raped many times. But it's funny how you just get up, it's like nothing, and go back out again. You can't report it. I don't. You just gotta cry a little and then go back out there. Or either stop or do something else with your life.
A lot of the women were abused when they were young, and they get addicted to drugs and end up on the street. There are a number of reasons why women may become prostitutes, and a lot of it's just not one main reason. There may be a multitude of factors. For one, there's poverty and economic need. There's maybe child abuse and trauma, homelessness, running away from home to get away from the abuse. And then there's human trafficking and coercion, uh, drugs and alcohol, um, lack of education. Many drop out of school, never finish high school. And there's grooming and recruitment. Some have mental health issues, and others it may be social and cultural factors. Um, some like the movie Pretty Woman think it's glamorous, but it's anything but that. You end up addicted to drugs and have many diseases. So there's really no glamour in it. At the Outreach Center, sometimes we get interns that would come, and one summer intern came, and he wrote this paper about drug addicts, street people, a very good article in Urban Mission, volume 12, number 1, in 1994, called The Urban Church and the Drug Culture. It's a very good article, but there was one paragraph I didn't agree with, and it says, ideally, an addict with a sincere desire to change could be placed within a Christian home. Obviously, this would be a small scale, and the families, couples, and groups of singles involved would have to be very clear with regard to the risks involved. I went to the editor and said, I don't think it's a good idea for Christians to start taking drug addicts off the street into their home because they say they want to change their life. Most of them want to change their life and get over it. I said, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't just bring street people in your home or drug addicts off the street to try to get them off drugs. What happened, I don't know if it's connected with this at all, one of the, I guess, counselor or something, brought a drug addict into their house who they thought was very sincere about getting off of drugs. And he took him in his house. He had a wife and 2 children. And then the next thing I know is that the guy was trying to get off drugs, got his wife to try the drugs and got her hooked on drugs. And the drug addict and his wife, they left and they ended up on the streets, I think in Kensington, where she became a prostitute to earn money to pay for the drugs for both of them. It's a very sad story, having to leave the husband, the 2 children by themselves, and becoming a prostitute on the street for the drugs. And then later on, I guess they went to Vegas, where last time that's I heard where they were. But you shouldn't just be inviting strangers into your home, especially drug addicts. They got kicked out of their home for doing drugs and stealing everything in the house. And so a lot of the parents, they kick them out because they can't take the stealing and being high, and so they kick them out and they're on the street. And so I don't recommend this. There's other good programs that they can get into and help out. But it takes someone very special to know 24-hour surveillance so things like this don't happen. I want to close with this story that I heard. There was a man on a business trip far away from home, and he was in his hotel, and there was a knock on the door from a prostitute. And he thought, oh, I'm far, far away from home. Nobody will know if I let the prostitute in. So he opens the door, and there in the doorway was his daughter dressed up like a prostitute. Not far away was the college she went to, and to get extra money, she would prostitute herself. And here, the father meant the daughter. And we must remember that all the prostitutes are somebody's daughter and needs to be taken care of and protected, not abused, neglected, but taken care of. And it's another very sad story. There's a number of places, some resources here to help people out. There's soup kitchens for food, the food bank, rescue missions, drug programs that specialize in these areas. I remember we would have a soup kitchen. We would have like a service and then serve mainly soup afterwards. Campbell's Soup donated a whole truckload of food, of soup, that was either getting ready to be expired or maybe expired but still was good, that we could use to cook a lot of soup for the street people. And then the food bank, very helpful in getting a lot of food that we could give out and use as well for cooking meals. And there's other rescue missions, drug programs to help people out. You have to just check online to find the different programs that are available. I want to thank you very much for listening. Hopefully we'll have more videos in the future. You can welcome to subscribe, ring the bell, and thank you so much for listening.